Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Biolab, and this is Vamsi here at Biolab, and in today's video we will be starting with new chapter, that is your living world guys. And yes, we have remaining two parts of the excretion, that is your disorders and the regulation, the excretion by other organs. Those all you have to by heart guys. You have to by heart those two topics. There is nothing to teach in them. You just by heart. In disorders, you just remember the symptoms. That is it. So no need to explain it and waste of time. So let us start with the living world. A fresh chapter. We will be taking two classes to complete this living world. In the first class, I will be completing up the diversity in living world, that is about your classification also I will be completing, and in the next class I will be completing about taxonomic categories and taxonomical aids. 2 to 3 classes we will be completing living world, then we'll be starting biological classification guys. So let's start today's video. So guys, first of all, what is living? The question that NCERT commonly puts to us is, what is living? Now tell me, according to you, what is living? So life it is. So that's the question that NCERT is commonly putting to us. And on that note, now tell me, what is living? According to you, what can be classified as living? So life, it is found everywhere. Okay, see, life is found in almost all places. Now let me give you an example supporting this statement. Life is everywhere. Let me give you some examples. Life is present on the earth. Life it is present on the earth. It is present in the oceans. It is present in the oceans. It is present in the salty lake, salty seas, salty seas. It is present in the lakes. Next, it is also present in freshwater habitats. Freshwater habitats. It is found in deserts. Deserts. Okay, it is found in deserts. Next one. It is found in hot sulfur springs. Hot sulfur springs. These all give us a small example that life is found everywhere guys. Life is found everywhere. These are the examples that we can derive. Life is found in oceans, life is found in salty seas, life is found in lakes, life is found in freshwater habitats, life is found in deserts, life is found in hot sulfur springs, life is found in deep sea vents. Deep sea vents. These deep sea vents, they have a high temperatures. They have high temperatures more than some 100 degrees Celsius. So it is found there also. Simply they have high temperatures. So life is found everywhere guys. This is one of the best examples. This is one of the best examples which are given in our NCERT to support the statement that life is found everywhere. Now the NCERT is asking us, what is life at all? What is life? What is life? Whenever we come across this statement, what is life, we generally come to the characteristics. characteristics of living organisms. Whenever we are put the question, what is living? Then we come back to the characteristics of living organisms and say life is something that living okay, the organisms which grow are called as living things. The things that show reproduction are called as living things. The things which you know uh, reproduce, the things which have metabolism are called as living, are classified under living. So we have some different sorts of characteristics in order to classify organisms or items under living or non-living category. Now the general characteristics that we talk is the first general characteristic that we talk whenever this comes to our discussion is growth. Can this growth be the defining characteristic of living organisms? Definitely not. Growth, it is not the defining characteristic feature of living organisms. So now you might ask me, first of all, what is growth? Growth, it is the increase in cell mass. When compared to organisms, it is increase in cell mass. When compared to living organisms, it is the increase in cell mass. When you compare to non-living things, it is the accumulation of substances. So basically, you can classify growth under two types. Intrinsic, sorry, intrinsic and extrinsic. What is intrinsic and extrinsic? Intrinsic growth is the growth which is happening inside the body of an organism, that is the increase in cell mass. Extrinsic growth, it is simply accumulation of substances. Accumulation of substances. This is found in non-living organisms. Non-living things. This is generally found in non-living things. So, therefore, growth cannot be the defining feature of living organisms because it is also found in non-living things. So that is why it is not the defining feature of living organisms. So this is the reason why it is not the defining feature of living organisms. So growth, it is not the defining feature of living organisms. Now growth can this about this growth we have discussed a lot in plant growth and regulation chapter. Now what are the types of growth? General types of growth. Growth can be either in the form of increase in number of cells, it can also be either an increase in dry weight of an organism, it can be the increase in size of the cell, etc. These are the three different forms of growth. Now right here, forms of growth. Forms of growth. These are the three different forms of growth, and growth can be either shown using these anything, anyone. Then you call it as growth. Growth for non-living things, it is the accumulation of substances. If you take a big, huge mountain, soil particles, rock particles, dust particles accumulate, and after some years, the mountain grows in size. This is also considered as growth. But sorry, here mountain is a non-living thing, and it is being the growth is being exhibited by non-living things. So growth, it is not the defining feature of living organisms. Now what is the defining feature of living organisms here? Now what is the second thing that comes to your brain when I will talk about living uh, organisms? The second general characteristic is reproduction. This is this reproduction can be a defining feature of living organisms, since reproduction, it is the production of offsprings. Whether this offspring is similar to the parent, that is asexual reproduction, or different from the parent, it is sexual reproduction, it doesn't matter at all. It is the production of offspring, that is your reproduction, and that this characteristic can only be exhibited by living organisms. Living organisms, not non-living things. Non-living things cannot produce anything. If this NCERT book, can it produce its offspring? No. This NCERT cannot reproduce its offspring. This graphics tab which I am using to write on the screen, can it produce its offspring? No. So like that, non-living things cannot produce their offsprings. Non-living things cannot produce their offsprings. So reproduction definitely becomes the defining feature of living things. Now this reproduction can be in any way. In unicellular organisms, it can be fission, it can be fusion, it can be fragmentation, it can be sexual reproduction, it can be asexual reproduction, it can be vegetative propagation, etc, etc, etc. Any method of reproduction can be a defining feature of living organisms, and the various methods of reproduction is mentioned in our NCERT. You can read it. Now the third thing that comes to our brain, living organisms. We sh- we have metabolism. We show metabolism. That is metabolism. Without this metabolism, we are not living organisms. We are not living organisms without metabolism. Metabolism, it is the sum total it is the sum total of all the chemical reactions taking place inside the body of an organism is called is called as metabolism. Sum total of all the chemical reactions happening in our body. It can be breakdown process, it can be joining process. So therefore metabolism is of two types. Metabolism is of two types. One, anabolism. Two, catabolism. Anabolism, catabolism. Catabolism, it is the breakdown process. How can you remember? Remember that cata equal to cut. Cata equal to cut. Anabolism, it is joining process. How to remember? Ana equal to add. Addition. Different sorts of materials aggregate to form a single molecule. Here a single molecule divides and energy is liberated. So ana means cut. Kata means cut, breakdown process. Ana means add, addition process. It is joining process, it is a breakdown process. And in catabolism, energy is released. In anabolism, energy is taken. Energy is taken. Now give me an example of anabolism. Yes, photosynthesis. Some 6 moles of carbon dioxide aggregate to form 1 mole of glucose. Photosynthesis. It requires energy in the form of sunlight, H mu. But catabolism example, respiration. Breakdown of food and producing energy, that is respiration. Now this is metabolism. This metabolism is not exhibited by any non-living thing. Therefore, it becomes a defining feature. Defining feature of living organisms. So that is about metabolism. Now we have one remaining. We have one feature remaining. That one feature is our response to stimuli. Sense organs. Senses. No non-living thing has got senses like the living. These senses can be in either way. They can sense the surroundings through their skin. They can sense the surroundings through their eyes. They can sense the surroundings through ears, nose, etc. This consciousness means sensing the stimuli, sensing the environment and reacting to it is the defining feature of living organisms. So therefore This consciousness consciousness also becomes the defining feature of living organisms. So response to stimuli. So from here, reproduction. I'll be putting star mark, purple star mark. Reproduction, metabolism, and response to stimulus. So these three features become they become 1 minute. Let me check whether the recording has been started or not. Yes, it is perfectly alright. These three features, response to stimuli, reproduction, and metabolism, become the defining features of living organisms. Now, in humans, these are all being seen, and we humans are classified, fortunately, under living organisms also. We humans are being classified under living organisms. Now, there is a question that is arised in your NCERT that a person who is brain dead, or he is in coma stage, is he living or not living? According to me, he is living. According to you, you think answer in the chat box below. Because only the sense of responding to stimuli and the responding to stimuli is only not happening. He is not in consciousness, that's it. The metabolism is happening. Reproduction can happen if he comes under consciousness. Metabolism is being carried out, the main process only based upon the consciousness. We cannot decide a person whether he is living or not living. We have to check the other properties too. The other two properties might work. That is why he is living, according to me. But according to you, you please verify, you please think over it, and then comment down in the comment box below. Okay? No. The things that are given in NCERT. Now they have given you the hierarchy of formation of organisms basically. So what is it? What is this hierarchy? Hierarchy of formation of organism. How this organism is formed? We all know this hierarchy, guys. We all know this hierarchy. If I write, oh, you say this one, I know. See, cell. I hope you have, identified what I'm supposed to write here. As if you have identified it, well and good. Cell. Okay. Strike it out. Cell. A group of cells aggregate together to form tissue. A group of tissues aggregate together to form an organ. An organ, group of organs aggregate to form organism. This is the hierarchy of organization which is found in organisms. Okay. From moving from cell to the organism, the complexity is going on increasing. The complexity is going on increasing. So that is your hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy. The next one is your diversity. Now we are entering into the main topic, that is your diversity. Now you would have heard this diversity word many a times. See, they say India is a diverse country. India is a diverse country. India is having many religions in it. India is having, you can say, many areas in it, like many biomes, many animals, many cultures. We have many culture, not one or two. So that is why we call India as a diverse country. So this diversity is even present in the living organisms, or among the living organisms, or among the living world. This diversity which is present among the living world is called as biodiversity. Okay, the diversity which is present among the living world is called as biodiversity. Biodiversity. This is called as biodiversity. Interestingly, okay, that has been completed. That is interestingly, nearly 1.7 to 1.8 million species, 1.7 to 1.8 million species have been known. Have been identified. Only the identified count of species on Earth is this 1.7 to 1.8. Now think, the unidentified species count on Earth would be how much? It is unimaginable. The number is going, the figures are going higher. So that much of diversity is present on Earth, and this all diversity is called as biodiversity. Biodiversity. Now, so we humans generally call these 1.1 to 1.8 million species there are there. Let us take one species out of that. Let us take one genus or species out of this 1.8. We call dogs. Dogs. For dogs, there are two names. One called as vernacular names. Not only for dogs, even for why dogs? Let us take humans. Humans are the best examples here. Humans. There is the explanation part. No need to write. Vernacular names and the scientific name. Vernacular name and the scientific name. Vernacular names. What are vernacular names? Chinna, generally in South India I'm saying, Chitti, Babu, Bujji. These all are the things which are vernacularly present. The regionally kept words or the nicknames given to different humans. But the scientific name of humans, does it change from location to location? If in Andhra Pradesh they call humans as scientifically as say for suppose Homo sapiens, when they go for somewhere they call Homo sapiens. Okay, no. Everywhere humans are Homo sapiens. The pronunciations can be different, but the thing is, scientifically, they are called as Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. This is a small s, not capital S. Again, do not spam the comment box. It is capital S, a small s, capital S, a small s. Okay, Homo sapiens. Everywhere you go to USA, you see Homo sapiens that represents humans. There, if you go to USA and say, "Do you know Chinna?" There's what? What are you talking? We don't know Chinna. So if you say Homo sapiens, yes, we are Homo sapiens. So that is how these differ. Then this is called as nomenclature. Nomenclature. What is nomenclature? Assuring scientific names containing two parts. One is the genus part, and the second one is your specific epithet part to an organism which is universally accepted is called as nomenclature. So we will be discussing about this now. And this nomenclature, it is specifically called as binomial nomenclature. Why? Because it contains two parts. Binomial nomenclature. It is the process or phenomenon of giving universally accepted scientific names containing two words generally representing genus name and species name is called binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature. No. For example, the very famous Mangifera indica. The very famous Mangifera indica. Here, Mangifera indicates its genus name. Indica indicates its species name. So that is why it is called as binomial nomenclature. Here we are providing two names, one the genus name, two the species name. Okay, that is why it is called as binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature. And this binomial nomenclature is looked after by two organizations. One let me write it down. Two organizations. One, it is your ICBN, and second one, it is your ICZN. This is your International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and ICZN, it is International blah 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 Code for Zoological Nomenclature. That is your okay. I understood. This is the notes which I am providing you, so that is why I write it neatly. You shout at me and I say sorry. International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. This is for coding animals, for tagging animals. This is for tagging plants. And these, interestingly, a small point, interesting point, these interesting point, these scientific names are to be unique. No two organisms should have the same scientific name. That is, no two organisms should have the same scientific name, and this is monitored by ICBN and ICZN. So that is why these two organizations have been set up. Okay, have been set up. Next one. Next one is your rules for writing. Okay. Rules for writing or printing scientific names. Scientific names. Generally, these are the rules that have to be followed while writing scientific names or printing scientific names. The first rule is the genus and the species name should be written. I'm generally writing written. You can also put type separately. The second point is the first letter of genus should be capital letter or uppercase or uppercase, and the species should be small letter or lowercase. Lowercase. Third one, when printed, they should be in italics, but when written, they should be underlined separately. Underlined separately. This indicates, this italic writing indicates its Latin origin. This indicates its Latin origin. Okay? Oh, I have missed one point. Yes. As I said, there are two words. Two words. The first word, second word. First word represents the genus. Second word represents the species. Now give examples. Now give examples. Right. Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica. See, first letter is uppercase in genus. First letter is lowercase. Homo sapiens. First letter uppercase, first letter lowercase, underlined separately. Homo sapiens. And this is Lin. What does Lin? I defines. This Lin, it states the name of the author. Name of the author. Mangifera indica Lin means Linnaeus. Linnaeus was the one who found this Mangifera indica. So that is why they write Mangifera indica Lin. Mangifera indica Lin. So now we have, as I said, we have a vast diversity of organisms. We have vast diversity of organisms. Nearly 1.7 to 1.8 million species are present on the earth. So in order to study about each species separately, it is impossible task. It is impossible, literally impossible task. In order to take one species, study its features, and then note down again, put it back, taking another species. Like this, you have to do 1.7 to 1.8 million times. Million, 10 to the power 6 million times. Then you would be arriving your drawing your conclusions that which species which. And it requires much books, it requires much references. So in order to make this all easy, we started classifying things. Before classification, we identified we identified the species, then we studied about its characteristics, then we classified into some particular groups. We started to classify. The classification is a process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characteristics. That is the definition given in your NCERT. Now I have read it. Here for the heading now. classification. Now we will be starting classification. The process of grouping. What is classification? The process of grouping. Here in this context, organisms. Okay. Organisms into convenient groups in order to make their study easy. Make their study easy. This is called as your classification. This is known as your classification. The classification. For example, we easily recognize a group of such plants or animals or dogs or cats moment. Yes, right. These lines are important. The moment we use in the so on which basis? On which basis? If you take a dog and cat, they have similarities. They have four legs, they walk on four legs. These characteristics. When we talk about dog, we get these characteristics: four legs, walks on four legs, sniffs, has teeth, has very powerful teeth. These all it bite me. It bit me one time when I was going out. It fell behind me one time. So these all are the thoughts that we get. These all are the characteristics of dog. So like that, the similar characteristic animals have been grouped like dogs and cats. Dogs and cats. They have similarities in genus, not species. Genus is the same, so that is why they have similarities, little similarities, not individually but as a whole. As a species, when compared both the species, they have similarities and they have been classified under the same genus. They have been classified under the same genus. Okay, 1 minute guys, let me give you that genus name. Where is that genus name? Yes, leave it. I'm not getting the genus name. I'll be putting in the comment box below. I'll be pinning it in the comment box below. You please check there. I'm going through NCERT line by line, guys. Next one. Likewise, in plants, if you talk about wheat, the picture of wheat means, okay, when we talk about wheat, it is brown in color. It is used to make bread. Those sorts of some characteristics we assume in our mind. Barley, basra, these all are coming into the same characteristic. And the scientific term used for these categories like cats, mammals, dogs, these categories is called as taxa. Is called as taxa. Page number 7, please underline this line. Taxa. Here you must recognize that the taxa can indicate categories at different levels. Plants also form a taxa. Wheat is also taxa. Now, plants, it is a big group. It is a big group. It is a kingdom. Plant is a kingdom. And this is a taxa. This is a taxa. Wheat, it is a basic group. It is a basic group. This is a taxa. And if coming into animals, this is your kingdom. This is a taxa. Sapiens, it is a species. This is a taxa. Now, are you understanding what I want to tell? At every different level, this category is called as a taxa. Every category represents a taxa. Every category at every different level represents a taxa. Mammal is a taxa, mammals is a taxa, dogs is a taxa, and this hence based on the characteristics of living organisms can be classified into different taxa, and this process of classification of living organisms into different taxa is called as taxonomy. Okay, now write that definition. Taxa is not important, just line underline the line in your NCERT. Underline it in your NCERT. Now write about taxonomy. The process of classification of all the okay, sorry, I'm writing with the red pen. Yes, please wind it 10 seconds fast. I'll be writing this. I'll be trying to write it very fast. Into different taxa. Different taxa, please do not confuse with the term taxa. Taxa can represent any category at any different level. Different taxa is called taxonomy. Is called taxonomy. Action and infrastructure along with the structure of cell development processes, ecological information of organisms are essential and form the basis of modern taxonomic studies. Now there can be a question from this: basis of modern taxonomic studies are formed by this list I'm giving you here, are formed by external underline NCERT, internal structure of the cell, development, 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 ecological information, ecological ecological information of the organisms are essential in order to form the basis of modern taxonomy. Modern taxonomy. The modern taxonomic studies are formed. The basis is formed by these four factors. This is very important. If you have the NCERT, underline it or else write it in your notes. Hence, characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature are the processes. This is again very important. The sequence is very important. Now, the sequence. Another pen. Sequence. Okay, this is not the pen which I am using. I use this. This is green. Here. Is it blue? Oh, wanted this. Pen blue. sequence followed in taxonomy. Sequence followed in taxonomy. Right here, identification. Here actually there is a controversy. 1 minute after writing, I'll be saying characterization. Next, classification. Next, nomenclature. Nomenclature. Now here is a controversy. Without identification of an organism, you cannot characterize. Without characterizing, you cannot identify. Understood? Without knowing that its characteristic features, you cannot say particular organism. Or without knowing there is an organism, without studying it, you cannot characterize it. So here is a controversy. Here is a controversy arising. Now taxonomy is not something new. And this all. This is all. And there is another word called as systematics, which we have to remember. I'm writing it here. This would be the end for this lecture. Systematics. It is okay. Understood. It is the systematic listing of or arrangement of arrangement of organisms is called as systematics. About this systematics, Linnaeus in his book called as Systema Naturae. He mentioned about this systematics. Okay, he mentioned about this systematics, and it helped in studying the evolutionary relationships. So that is it for this video, guys, and if you like the video, please hit okay. I hope everything is clear to you guys. Everything is clear. This notes I'll be providing in the description box. I hope you can download it from there. Okay, this today's notes I'll be sending there. And that is it, guys, for this video. If you like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel Biolab. And this is Vamsi signing off from Biolab. Have a great day further, guys. Thanks for watching.